Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ming Chico. Today we're going to talk about Aviation 430, Professor Jason Rackley. Today's date, February 24, 2025. Topic will be running rough. And we will be talking about the single pilot resource management. Throughout the flight that we will be performing as a assignment that we will be flying to a certain location. We have to utilize our resources and able to discuss area that might be a risk, or we have to make a proper decision in managing those decisions. Also, we have to have some situation awareness and possible potential, and it's important that we understand that how to manage the risk and how to spot a potential hazard that might happen that will resulting us to that we had to do a emergency. And it is important that we always do our resource manage our resource. When I was talking about resources, we should utilize, if we have a MFD, PFD, we should utilize those resources to figure out where we at and where we are. And we have the tablets. Some airplane have ADSB or mini Sentry that will help us to spot traffic. If we have a G1000, especially in my school aircraft, we have G1000, so we could kind of look around our location to find if we have any aircraft that are flying towards us, flying around us, and be able to identify the risk and making a proper judgment to divert away from that risk, or uh, important to utilize all resources to help us to get to our destination safely. What is VMC and what is the recovery for VMC, and what affect the VMC under CFR 14.23? As a VMC is a minimum control by utilizing rudder. When you lost the rudder, that's when you lost the direction. And VMC is the minimum of control speed by utilizing the rudder. And our school are doing a VMC demo to make our student understand what is a VMC that really mean. When we are doing a VMC performing, we're making sure our mixture prop is fully forward, throttle it's at 12" to help us get to the VYSE at 88 knots. So VYSE indicating best rate of best rate of climb with the single engine. By utilizing that, when we get to VYSE, we will reduce one side of power and increase a full power on the other side of the engine. And we will be pitching towards the good engine. We'll bank towards the good engine 5" and pitching up. So we will lose 1", 1 knot per second. When we lost either direction or buffered, or we have lost our direction control, immediately we will reduce our power on the operating side to idle, and we're going to pitch down immediately. So we're doing simultaneously to help us recover it. So when we pitch down, idle the power simultaneously, we want to regain our airspeed, regain the zero side slip towards a good side of engine. Immediately full power, regain our airspeed to 88. When that happened, we will simultaneously match the two throttle together to the cruise power at 1.8 to 25. And that's how we recover from VMC, and that's how we perform our VMC. And what is a VMC? Performance. What is determined by VMC? That's my question. And the VMC is determined by an acronym, by C as a critical engine, R as a rear CG, A is airborne or ground effect, M will be most favorable weight, landing gear, takeoff power, F flap, T as a trim. So when we are talking about F as flap for takeoff position, T rudder on the trim position on takeoff, O takeoff power for the full power, and M is most favorable weight. So the heavier weight will help us to have a VMC decrease and our performance decrease. And for all this, how we determine a critical engine by acronym of P factor, a spiral slipstream, and S a spiral thrust, and spiral slipstream, and torque. P factor is judged by ascending blade and descending blade biting due to the biting of the air, resulting the power of the spin of the aircraft. And P factor, it's a yaw moment, and asymmetric thrust, it's a roll moment. P factor, due to asymmetric thrust, it will yaw the plane to the right when we lost our right side of the power, because right side of power, so it will yaw to the right, and resulting that we had to step on left rudder. But when we lost our left side, it will yaw more to the left due to the distance from the CG to the engine on the right side. So it had more power to yaw that plane towards the left. And that is only happen on conventional propeller. And that's why it is important that FAA have a VMC rules for all the multi-engine. First is for the safety. Second is a certification that FAA confirm the safety of the aircraft. And also having a low VMC could help the pilot to be safer consider than the VMC are higher. So as a pilot, we must acknowledge what we are doing as a pilot. What happens if you are stalling when you lost an engine on one side? Let's say you lost an engine on the right side. What is your checklist? Are you gonna look at your checklist, or are you just gonna do through your training? So you go maintain 88, direction control, MPT, make sure prop throttle fully forward, and fuel pump is on, landing gear is up, flap is up, making sure that everything is good, and maintaining our 88, and use the trim to help us to maintain that 88 while we figuring out what's going on. By using our rudder to determine which side is dead. Let's say right side is dead. Right side is dead engine. We'll identify right throttle will be fed. Right throttle will slowly idle to make sure that power is correct. The engine, now we are gonna correct it. And if we are below 3000, we immediately right prop, identify, verify, right prop feather, and immediate right mixture. If it's below 3,000, immediately right mixture will still stay the same. And we're gonna find the nearest airport and we will land. And we're gonna determine what's the aircraft performance to help us get to the location by maintaining our power by 50 foot per minute climb. And what's the environment helping us? And our environment is clear sky, strong wind, strong headwind or tailwind. And what's the external pressure that will resulting us panic due to emergency failure of losing one engine? Possible. Also, there might be a situation that we have to deal with all the pressure while looking at the checklist, making sure that if we still have time to restart it. But if we are below 3,000, we don't have enough time to restart it because we need our nose to pitch down to 105 to help us to air start the engine. But if we are above 3,000, we will feather the prop. It's already feather. Make sure the mixture it's auto cut off on the right side, and right side of cowl flat will be closed, and right alternated air will be closed too. And during those situations, we're gonna make sure that we have a safe altitude around 3,000 or more. And during that time, we will execute. Make sure our fuel selector is both on, fuel pump is on the operating side, magneto is on, make sure prop is fully forward, and throttle pump twice and 1/4, and make sure that we have the starter to be ready to set up and pitch for 105. And during that, we're gonna pitch for 105, and we're gonna start the engine. And immediately we're gonna, if it start, we're gonna leave the 11 to 15, and prop will be around below 2,700. And during this, we're gonna make sure that our condition is all correct, and we're gonna continue our route. If we couldn't start and we are around 3,000 because due to the descent rate, we will get back to we will get back to the nearest airport and just execute and landing. Let's say we are below 3,000, we have to find the nearest airport and continue without power and just find a place to land the airplane. Thank you. Here will be my reference, and hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you.